The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Laramie, Lenore, Bretton, and Uriel have taken back Kingsbury. An old friend rejoins them as they seek to restore some order in the capital city. Let's see who it is and see if they can work together to make Kingsbury safe again. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com on iTunes, Facebook, Spotify. We're all over the place. Just go to a search engine, type in Adventures from the Shed, and you will find us. We're here back in the shed, continuing our A New Frontier campaign using Dungeon World rules set in our world of Parandisi. We're going to go around the table and say hi to these wonderful people in the shed today. Start with this guy.
Hey, it's Chris. I'm playing your hot-headed immolator Uriel. Sometimes I'm smoky, sometimes I'm sultry, but I'm always hot-headed.
Wow.
And next to him
He's
is...
on fire.
It is, literally
I'm
and
so
figuratively.
hot.
Yes.
All right, this
And
is
metaphorically.
Kelly. I'm playing Trillium the Druid.
Yay, Kelly's back! Yay! And this is Kurt. I am playing Bretton. As you may or may not recall, he is a human ranger.
And I'm Mike. I'm playing Laramie Burnsteel, Paladin Josiah. Go, Joe.
Go, Joe.
And this is Bridget. I'm playing Lenore the Cleric.
Lenore the cultist?
The Cleric.
The cleric.
Cult with a K.
Cult. And I am Joe. I am the game master for this game. We are going to get back into our adventure. We are at... Somebody's playing with a light in front of me, and I was distracted. We are in the city of Kingsbury, where our party has just recently as in a few moments ago, finished up slaughtering Undead Zed, who was kind of the leader of the undead who had taken over Kingsbury. But we do a little, memory, fade back, fade away, fade away. What the heck is it called? What do you call it? But it's not a flashback, it's a
Flash forward?
whatever it was. And we're going to go
Maybe it was a
back.
flash sideways
We're going to go
somewhere.
back a couple episodes for a quick recap from Chris.
Okay, so we started off, this is maybe a couple episodes ago, where we were in the Library of Balance trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with these books. One side was evil, one side was good, and then we had like a gray area that didn't really... I think it would dealt with more object items, kind of like artifacts, things like that. And we found out that the good guys, us, we had a right in the Book of Evil to kind of like close that story out. And then a group of, actually, it was like almost an army of orcs were coming through to start writing the era of good, to write the Book of good, and we got out of there. Luckily, without any fighting, I think. We just super distraction powers. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Does anybody remember how you guys ended Evil's reign? What you wrote in the book?
I remember the last word, the very last thing.
I remember the last.
It was like two sentences, or one sentence with a comma in the middle.
It's like, and good one.
It was, so...
and we got barbecue.
Good
And we got
one,
barbecue.
and they all got barbecue.
Yeah.
So that's how the current, at the time, the reign of evil, or the era of evil came to an end. Because you guys wanted barbecue at the time.
Mm-hmm. So we ended up, when we left the library, it turned out we were in a different part of the world. We ended up being in near St. Angelique on the same island that has Kingsbury, which is the capital of the world that we're in, of Parandisi. And so we decided to make our way that way. We ended up finding maybe some ex-militia or townsfolk that had been run out of town because there was an undead horde that took over in this group of evil beings that decided to like kill the chancellor, take over town, ransack the treasury, do whatever they wanted. They got out of town, but they left some of their minions in power. So we just vanquished Undead Zed in the Church of Josiah. Josiah. Yep.
Go down.
So Laramie got all grimed up. So I think that's where we're at right now. So a little bit of world rebuilding kind of.
All right. So we're going to use the special move from the basic move sheet, the other side of the basic move sheet. We're going to use that move called Recruit, and we're going to figure out how you guys go about cleaning up Kingsbury. And Kelly's talking about eating dice or something here.
It's so pretty. I just am like, I want to put it in my mouth and oh God.
There's my new ringtone.
That's what she said.
So
That's what
pretty.
she said.
I just want to put it
4
in
minutes
my
and
mouth.
32 seconds.
That's a new record, baby. I don't know.
So, Kurt, what's some of the stuff we want to do to clean up the city?
Well, I think most importantly, we're going to want to, at least some of us, lead by example, because my understanding is there's still a lot of undead around. So part of it will be, whenever any of them are around, we kill them, and our example inspires others to join us. Bretton himself would probably do a couple of things. He generally is in, basically protecting cities from monsters in the outside, so he's comfortable kind of being at the border of the wilderness between cities and wilderness. So he would probably spend a little bit of time kind of outside the walls of Kingsbury, checking on the people out there, but also trying to clean up any undead that might be around there.
Yeah.
And then he would probably also, I guess, are we going to talk about the recruit move a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things you can
Well,
do.
how does Bretton want to contribute to that? Who's he going to work with? What's he going to do?
He would probably, he's not from anywhere around Kingsbury, but being a ranger, he's got some familiarity with kind of this loose affiliation of kind of rangers and fighters and druids who do what he does. It's kind of a trackers guild, if you will. And while he doesn't know her personally, he knows that in Kingsbury, the head of that guild would be a woman named Melissa. So I think he would probably go try to find her and see.
Just follow the scent of strawberries and coconut?
Oh, yeah. And the glitter path.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would say that.
I'm not sure either.
He's just carrying that banner, save the strippers.
Strippers' lives matter too.
Yeah. He just
People at
wants...
home are going to be so confused.
The Trackers Guild is known as the Strippers.
Melissa's very, very
They
confident.
also take paint off of walls and stuff, too. That's part of what they do.
Bretton is
There's just so
confused
much
by this
there.
whole dialogue.
I don't see why. Put it this way, Kurt. If you have listeners out there that are familiar with how you play and the things you do when you're in cities, nobody is at all confused that you would be trying to save strippers.
Okay.
Seemed perfectly within his.
Yeah.
It's all there, man.
So I'm going to go look for her.
Cool. What would Uriel be doing? Chewing.
I think.
See, I went to you because Bridget was drinking. So.
I thought you were going to go to Laramie. I was like, oh, I got time.
Well,
I don't
Laramie's
know.
gonna. I think Laramie, in his mindset, which we'll listen to in a
Right.
moment, is probably going to lead a lot of it.
Yeah, I think along with Laramie, we're going to be the heavy lifters. There's a lot of undead still in town, and I don't think the people. I think they've been broken a little bit, so we're going to have to take the be the front line of that to show them the way that hey, we're here to help you guys out. You don't have to do it alone.
Okay.
And I think with with my strange powers, oh man, I got this guy that can just burn these guys down. I think we're going to be okay.
Burn the mother zombie down.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Lenore. What would Lenore do here?
Lenore's definitely going to be interested in assisting Laramie, help clean up the rest of the undead, and hopefully, as people see that we're kind of putting things right, that they'll help us continue to clean up the stragglers, and get the city back up and running.
Or is a straggler a strangler?
I thought she said scraggy stragglers. The scragglers.
Stragglers.
Scragglers.
Stragglers and stragglers.
Isn't that Scooby-Doo's friend?
Uh huh.
Scraggler?
Scraggler.
Ruh-roh.
Are there
Speaking of Scooby snacks, what's Laramie up to? So back to the scene where we are, and just moments ago, Laramie, with, of course, Lenore's help, holding undead Zed, with Turn Undead, had dazed him, and Laramie just kind of strode, the right stuff thing, and really slow motion.
Take my breath away.
With that, yes, with that sword, and the anger muscles rippling as he just kind of cleaved undead Zed into pieces, which then disintegrated in front of him. So standing on the steps of the cathedral to Josiah, what's he thinking?
Well, he's sort of angry, which is not very common for Laramie. Laramie usually has a pretty calm demeanor, but he basically turns to the group and it's like, well, y'all follow me. We're gonna go down the street. We're gonna kill them all, and just try to stay out of danger because I'm doing my best here.
So in every direction you look outside, whether it be down a street, down an alley, whatever, you can see amounts of undead kind of stationed in different areas. So the city has been overrun and is now occupied by this undead army. And there are, down that street, there's 10 of them standing at that corner. There's a few down that alley. And other places where you look, you can catch glimpses of people, just citizens, not undead, regular people, just kind of peeking out around corners to see you, see the undead still out there, and then kind of go back into hiding. But it looks like they may be hopeful that you're not dead and you've been killing the dead. So maybe there's something good to be done here.
And he's just trying to be a badass, just walking down the street.
He could definitely do that.
Just
What's Cloud up to? Is he going to scout anywhere?
She.
Yeah. Well, first she's gonna walk the city streets and just snuggle little children and look pretty
She's a
scared to
little
make them
runaway.
feel
No.
She's a therapy dog.
good. The little therapy dog. And then after that, she would go out kind of.
Would she snuggle zombie children?
No, not zombie children.
Just curious.
She has the fighting monsters trait, so she would probably try to eat their faces off.
Oh.
So that might happen occasionally. So like snuggle, manja.
Yeah.
although who needs therapy more than zombie children?
It's a great point. So I think she's kind of,
All right. So let's get to this point where we make a roll. We're going to do that recruit roll and see if we can get people to join in. Again, Uriel is just kind of, corralling the zombie?
Yeah, with my fire, with my Zuko style, bend flame the will. Kind of thing.
Using smoldering ruins that are around the town. There's little fires, still plenty of smoke going up into the air. It's one of those picturesque, this town has been sacked moments where if you look from outside of the city or almost anywhere inside the city, you look down the street, you can see the wisps of smoke from burning buildings going up. Now, they've been burning for over a week, so it's not like plumes of smoke, but the wisps of smoke going up into the air.
So we're still going for the aid maneuver.
Yes, you're going to aid
We'll see if I can pull it.
Laramie. Let's see how it works out. Almost the same roll.
Oh, a little bit better, just one more better.
Still a failure,
One
though.
better, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take a check.
Oh, my
Ooh.
goodness. Go ahead, say it. You're
That
back on the
is-
same roll you were as last time.
I know, jeez. You were
What?
just
So in the last
2d6.
episode, it's been a little
That'd be
while,
12.
so Bridget, you might not remember, but in the last episode,
There was
you
a
rolled
couple.
12s, I think, 3 times in
Yeah.
1 hour. So.
All right,
Yeah.
so 12. I aid
Actually,
the heck out of
13 because you have
Oh,
a
that's
bond
true.
too.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
Wow.
But I help the heck out of you.
Yeah,
You no longer have heck in you.
no heck in me.
all right, rolling for Bretton.
Oh, that's the opposite.
Yeah, he rolled 2 on the dice.
Nice. So make sure Kurt gets a chip for that spectacular failure.
Do I get to roll for Cloud?
Put it on your shoulder.
Nah.
Oh,
Nah, Cloud's just eating
but she's
zombie
being
babies.
so cute.
All right, and Laramie.
All right.
Describe some of how Laramie does his actions
All right,
while
so-
we're looking at this recruit move. Remember, we're talking about the different things that play into that. Actually, let's have somebody read that out again, the recruit move itself. Anybody can. I don't mind.
All right, we recruit. When you put out word that you're looking to hire help, roll. If you make it known that your pay is generous, take +1. What you're setting out to do, take +1. That they'll get a share of whatever you find, take +1. If you have a useful reputation around these parts, take an additional +1. On 10 plus, you got your pick of a number of skilled applicants. You choose your choice who you hire, no penalty for not taking them along. 7 and 9, you have to settle for someone close or turn them away. On a miss, someone influential and ill-suited declares they want to come along, like a foolhardy youth, a loose cannon, or veiled enemy. Bring them and take the consequences or turn them away. If you turn away applicants, you take -1 forward to recruit.
I think I might be the loose cannon already.
Yeah, we don't need any loose cannons.
I think we could have, instead of a what was it, the youth or the cannon, it'd be a loose youth instead.
Ew, no, that'd be
what kind of town is this?
Bretton's
Oh, it's
friend,
the stripper?
Melissa.
Melissa,
Is she a
that's
loose
Melissa.
youth?
Loose youth.
No, she's the esteemed head of the Trackers Guild.
Okay.
Y'all have such
What's
dirty
she
minds.
esteemed about?
So out of the recruit thing, we would have a +3 because we're not paying people up front
Right.
because we don't really have that. But we can
But you're letting them know that
tell them what we're going to do.
what you're doing, and that they can reclaim part of the city with you as you're doing it, so they get part of the, call it the spoils of war.
Right.
I think we might have 4. I mean, if
Yeah, the 3.
Well, we're not
the
paying
aid.
them.
We have the aid from you.
But we have the
that's
8.
another
Oh,
plus
yeah.
one.
So that's +4.
All right, so Laramie, describe a little bit of what you're doing
All right.
and give us a roll. See
So-
what happens.
So Laramie's just trying to get their attention. So he's basically going down the street, hitting his sword against the shield,
Yeah.
just making some noise, and then cutting down the zombies that approach, and just trying to be as much of a badass as he can to get people to show up and help him.
So he's badass Laramie.
Yes.
And it's all in slow motion.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question.
Pied Piper.
Laramie, are you like a country boy? Are you
Yes.
like a... I hear a drawl when you talk.
Yep. I'm from Leesburg.
And it usually takes Kurt 3 or 4 sentences to lapse into it himself.
Yeah, he'll start
Yeah.
following. He'll
Yeah.
Okay. Like, when you
Kurt
first
has the
started
resigned
talking,
shrug. I like it.
when you first started talking, Mike, I wasn't sure if you were a country boy or if it was your character that was a country boy. I was like, because I don't know Mike.
The idea.
well, and every time Mike says he bats his sword on his shield, it's disconcerting to me because in my mind he's like a cowboy. He's like, I told you, McCree from Overwatch, but he's like gunslinger.
Yeah. All right. Just wanted to
yeah.
That's
double
good.
check.
Yeah.
He's just the smooth, mellow paladin of Josiah.
All right.
Go Joe.
Go Joe. All right. That's a 7 on the dice plus 4. It puts it at 11.
11.
Ride 'em, cowboy.
So success. As you start
Put it in
going
your
through,
mouth.
as you start going through the streets, the people who are peeking around the corners
play.
come out to not necessarily join you, but seek your protection. So rather than hiding from the zombies, they're coming out in plain sight while you guys are walking through the streets trying to destroy the undead. They're kind of out there with you, and you get little cheers every now and then. You slay a skeleton, destroy a zombie, whatever it may be, and you have a little cheering section behind you from the citizens saying, "Yeah, great, we can
So
get
you're
our
getting some
city
groupies.
back."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Bretton's
recruits for
getting
Josiah.
jealous. Getting some groupies.
So with Bretton, you've kind of gone around, Cloud's gone around, both eaten zombie faces and licked non-zombie faces, right?
Oh,
Whoa.
Right. So, well,
that
hey.
just got worse.
No.
do
Munch,
wolves-
munch, lick, lick.
Doggy kisses.
Oh, God.
But they're undead doggy.
All right, so Cloud has finished the lick and munch. And,
Was it carpet?
what are you guys laughing at? I don't get it. And what's Cloud doing next? Because you said after
Have a cigarette and take a nap. He's gonna go out.
how does the wolf hold the cigarette in between?
I don't know.
Just kind of hangs out there.
You know,
I can
like
see
Jack
that.
when he hangs the bone out of the side of his mouth.
Yeah, could be.
I think he would probably go scout out around outside of town a little bit.
Okay.
Check for we sent a lot of the villagers out to safety.
Well, a lot of the or the guards that you guys rode in with.
Yeah, they were inside of the gate, right? Yeah.
And they were picking people up from outside. Anybody who was able to escape the city. The guards weren't going back into the city because they would just die. They're not anywhere near as badass as you guys, and never mind Laramie individually, right? So their badassness dropped significantly when their town was overrun and they were run out of town. So they wouldn't go back in town. So they were picking people up outside. So Cloud could definitely help them and you guys find people outside, maybe bring them into safety rather than being out in the wilderness.
Man, sounds like somebody needs to talk to the guards.
Could be.
Like, somebody needs to get the morale up with these guards. Get them back in there.
Yeah,
Help us
Bretton
out.
Bretton and Cloud could be out doing that.
So Cloud wouldn't be outside.
Bretton and Cloud.
They're outside.
would be outside.
Both outside. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Outside the walls of Kingsbury.
Got it. And inside, what else would Lenore be up to?
I'm still helping Laramie,
Yep.
using my turn undead and other skills that I seem to have pretty well honed against undead.
So during the day into the night, there's a familiar chant that others would probably copy Lenore doing as they see the success that Lenore has when she's turning undead, making them flee or stand in place to be slaughtered.
I need to teach it to all like the
Yeah.
kids too, and then it just kind of spreads.
It's
through,
going right
through
up the
town.
charts. It's like number one.
What would that be? What does it sound like?
You're really gonna make me do it. Oogie
You're the-
boogie,
Yeah.
oogie oogie boogie boogie, oogie oogie oogie, boogie boogie boogie.
There you go. So it becomes almost background noise in the city, in the area that where you
just hear
guys
it
are
murmured.
clearing
Boogie,
the
boogie.
streets. In the
Oogie,
behind
oogie,
the
boogie, boogie.
exactly behind every building, you hear children and adults chanting this oogie boogie, oogie oogie boogie boogie, and it's just
No,
I mean,
it doesn't.
sometimes you
It's a
start to
happy
hear it
sound.
in 3-part harmony. It's really quite
Yes.
beautiful.
But
yeah.
There's a barbershop
mean,
quartet on one
it
side.
doesn't.
nice.
It doesn't necessarily work the same way. They just have heard it and seen what it does when I use it.
It's a huge morale boost because it is something that it's something that can stop the undead or make them run away without needing a sword. So people are starting to think that it's something they can say, and it's a morale boost definitely within the city. As the night comes into the city, it gets a little darker. You guys might want to find a nice place to hole up for the night. Where might that be?
Well, we could go shelter in the infirmary, in the room that was relatively untouched, because the people that
There's a
were
nice
there
secret room there.
have kind of gone back to their houses and tried to help clean
There was
up.
survivors though for your group, right?
There's a few
Okay.
Yeah, they were
because we stayed underground.
They were in that secret room. Now, granted, they were starving because they ran out of food, but you guys went in there, gave them food.
They
and
didn't
water.
result of cannibalism yet.
No,
No.
not yet.
It had only been a week.
You were probably about 2 minutes away.
I mean, but I mean,
Wait, we'll come back. Go ahead. Showing that leg.
if you're gonna have a secret room that's like a panic room,
Yeah.
you're gonna put food in it. They just ran out of food.
Plus, they were appreciating the pain of starvation.
Right, they were feeling that.
We're good either
Thriving
way.
on the suffering.
Yeah,
We're good either way.
we're good either way.
But
That's
there's,
definitely a good base of operations for the night.
there's cots and bunk beds, and there's more food now, but there's still food is kind of scarce because everything got ransacked.
How
So-
big is the infirmary? How big roughly is the infirmary?
Call it's the hospital or one of the hospitals in the capital of the world. So it's not tiny.
I mean, there's rooms.
Yeah.
It's not like people stay there though, but I mean, there's different treatment areas and different altars and whatnot downstairs in the.
I mean, it's got to be bigger
Not
than the one
public
that's in
area.
Iraq, you know.
Yeah.
So
Think of it more like a huge emergency room rather than a long-term care
Yeah.
of a hospital kind of thing.
Okay.
So, the intensive care unit.
And Laramie is exhausted, but he's
Yeah.
still like trying to keep people safe. So he is slumped up against the door, like
All right.
trying to keep him in there.
And we know it's a
Wow.
secret door, by the way, that's only opened by somebody carrying the symbol of Zoraika.
Yeah.
And possibly linked to also being a Zoraikan follower. So it may not be just the symbol itself, because you've never seen anybody else open it except those from your order, Lenore. Outside the city, Cloud's still just kind of out there looking around. What does Cloud look like?
Cloud is a white wolf. A very
White wolf.
feminine white wolf.
Very, very feminine.
Nice eyelashes.
Aww.
So at one point, Cloud's walking around, and Trillium, you see a very feminine white wolf. And I picked that time, of course, as Kelly's eating a carrot or something.
He's
Yeah.
just like the
Carrot.
waiter
Yeah.
at the restaurant. You
No.
put a bite of food in your mouth, and they're
Yeah.
like, "How is everything?"
everything?
You're like,
Are you enjoying your meal?
"Yeah."
And
Let me say-
I'm joking about the very feminine wolf because half the time I think it's a boy, but
Right.
she's
That's the
actually pretty
idea.
badass.
Yes.
It's a very gender neutral.
Yeah.
And just as a little
racially
fun
biased
trivia
wolf.
for anybody listening, if you can remember how many different genders Kurt's wolf has had, go ahead and post it.
Yeah.
Or how many-
It ought to
I
be
can't
2. How
remember.
many times it's changed might be the better number.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure in this season it's up to at least 3 right now.
Yeah.
It seems like it's gone back and forth.
Yeah, so Trillium, you see the old familiar face of, well, maybe not old, the familiar face of Cloud.
Yes.
And I think Cloud probably sniffed you out. I'm sure Cloud knows your scent.
More importantly,
Yes.
Cloud sees the familiar face of Trillium and is like,
Don't let it lick your face.
Oh God, yeah.
It's been eating
Do not
zombies.
know where that's been.
That is zombie baby breath right there. And I'm not about it.
And Cloud sees that look and just puts her face in her paws.
Do you have some herbs that you
Knock
could
the
give her?
cigarette out of her mouth.
I do.
Some wild mint or something?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Always, I carry wild mint wherever I go.
So Cloud is quickly able to bring you up to speed with what's going on.
Yes.
And however long it takes a wolf to communicate all this stuff we just talked about. What? Can we do a couple howls or something?
I mean,
I wish we had this on video.
Yes. Video. What?
And then Cloud plays dead. And then comes back up.
How does Cloud impersonate a zombie?
did you like that
baby?
zombie? Did you like that zombie?
I did
there in
like the
middle?
zombie.
And then that was supposed to be
the blank
Laramie's
stare.
gunshots.
There you go.
Except they're not guns because he has
I
a
was gonna say
sword.
gunshots.
You know what I mean?
Cloud doesn't know.
We don't
better.
understand, but Cloud gets it.
Cloud gets it. It all makes
Cloud
sense
does
to Cloud.
gunslingers.
Then Cloud goes back home and plays PlayStation 4. Wow.
Right. It's dragging a cigarette out of his mouth.
Exactly. So you have that information now.
Okay, so Trillium is gonna head towards the town to help out her friends
Yeah.
because shit's gone down.
Yeah. Although technically shit's coming back up too because it's nicer again.
All right, good.
Well, nicer smelling.
And Cloud's like, "Hey, change into a wolf.
Smells like
and that way we
strawberries and
can
coconut.
play on the way back."
Okay.
Woohoo! Yay, wolf friend!
Woohoo!
Because she can do that.
She can. A Cloud leads
Do you show up too?
What's that?
Do you eventually show up?
Oh, he's there. Cloud's just outside.
Okay.
The people hunkered down for the night. Cloud is outside.
Cloud is gallivanting.
Yeah. Trying to find more
Making
zombie
some night
babies to
moves.
eat. Yeah. When you're a hungry wolf, come on. Cloud leads Trillium into the infirmary to what is apparently a secret door, scratches at the door a little bit.
Okay.
And what kind of noise does Cloud make to tell Bretton that she's back? There's probably some I don't know, a basic
Yeah, they have a
word
code.
or code. Yeah,
Ready?
there you go. Wow, so does Cloud knock with her face? I can see
Ow!
there's a little
She
scratching,
headbutt the door.
and then you hear the shave and a haircut.
Okay.
And as long as Roger Rabbit's not on the other side, we should be pretty safe.
No, Cloud has to identify herself because otherwise Laramie might shoot her.
Yeah. Or at least stab her.
Or stab her. I keep saying shoot.
Shoot her with your sword.
Yeah.
So with it
Or
being
Trillium, the human, can speak up and say, "Hey, it's us. Let us in."
that, but the person at the door wouldn't recognize that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We haven't met yet.
However, others would hear that voice. It may have been a little while since you've heard it.
Another one of Bretton's creepy women.
No, it's me, the one that he rode.
It's Trillium. Let her in.
That
Let her
didn't
in.
narrow
I
it down at all.
didn't narrow the field down.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's that could be anybody
She's not creepy.
in these parts.
There we go. So it's not another one of his creepy women, but it's one that he rode. Huh. Rode wasn't creepy. It's Trillium.
Hey! Huzzah!
Did you fly all the way here?
No, Cloud brought me here. Cloud told me that things were going down.
Yeah, but we're on the other side of the world. How'd you get here?
Well, something
She's
called
been
to
everywhere,
me
man.
in the forest outside the city. And I've been cleaning up some bad stuff that went down in the forest. I
Yeah.
planted some vines to clean up the ground, the soil. I brought my satchel full of grubs. Put
You've
them
cleansed.
Yeah.
Every
So
good
zero.
druid has that. It's kind
Yeah.
of like Wizard with all their nasty stuff.
I've got all sorts of stuff
yeah.
in my satchel.
Aw, satchel.
Seeds,
Did you
worms,
Find
grubs.
the special mushrooms out there.
Always got special mushrooms. You let me know when you're ready.
Oh, Trill, it's good to have you back. We missed
Yeah,
you.
Hey, good time for everyone.
So,
When
so
Trill's around.
is this one of your lady friends?
This is one of our ladies.
She doesn't have
Bretton's
that
been barking up
strawberry
this
and
tree
coconut.
forever.
Okay.
She used to hang with us back near Valchon, but she had to take a little break. Had to take care of some stuff off in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
so
a little-
she's the druid.
She is.
I was told there would be a druid back in the day.
She had to work security for a few months at that festival in the forest.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Burning Man. That was
Burning Man, yeah.
She spent 2 months burning a man. Go figure.
Burning elf.
Some,
kind of
some
festival?
guy named Ren was having a big festival.
Is
in
he
the
a
woods.
Chihuahua?
Chihuahua.
Renfield.
Hua.
So, you guys can pass the night with some casual conversation. What do we want to do come the morning? I mean, we can continue with the whole cleanup of the city, but what are our next goals? What do we want to do next?
Well, because there's a power vacuum in town, we have to be wary of
definitely
that,
is.
you know. Because we're not. Your character, Laramie, might have more history of the area because he might have been here. Like my character's never been here. I don't know if anybody else has. There could be other factions that wanted to take over the city. Like the guy that ruled it before was.
Oh,
evil,
there
wasn't he?
definitely
Yeah.
are.
So that's what we
Yeah.
need to make sure. Especially if it's that guy, the militia guy, maybe he knows, we need to get these other people in play before anything
Well,
bad happens.
Melissa knows a
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
what's going
totally.
on, that's for sure.
She's got the strawberry coconut
Yeah.
oil.
Is Melissa really happening? Like,
Yep.
is this?
It is
Okay.
now.
Melissa is probably one of the most powerful people left in town in regards to resources and knowledge.
I mean, she is the leader of the strippers.
Yes.
She's
Strippers
respected
union?
by all.
The pole union.
The pool.
Just for the listener, she's not a stripper. She's the head of the Trackers Guild.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she might do a little stripping on the side, but you can't hold that against her.
Maybe she like.
She
stripped
qualified the
during
best. She got the pole
college,
position.
Pole position.
Nice.
I missed that game.
So,
So that would be first. I guess we want to try to we want them to do it right. It's not our town. We want to help to make sure any evil people don't try to slip in and like, oh hey, I'll help you. I'll take over. You know.
so part of that.
Melissa would not let any evil people slip in.
So, Kurt, for Bretton's perspective, the next morning. No, that's not necessarily true. But the next morning, Melissa would catch up with Bretton, and just a quick recap that yes, there are a couple of different factions that heard about Kingsbury's fall now well over a week ago, and there are some camps out to the west of town of different factions that seem like they might be trying to come into town, and who knows what they might do. Not necessarily bad people, but they're people that wouldn't have done this before.
They're unknowns
Kingsbury fell.
right now,
Exactly,
yeah.
they're unknowns.
I definitely want to help out repair any armor, weapons, or even start working on with the smithy, create new ones. The town might need
Okay.
new armor.
So we're going
Was
to
it
take
the Red Hand when we were in
the Red
Kingsbury
Hand
ages
Bandits.
ago?
Yep, it was them.
They had a shack outside of town, right?
They got firebolt though.
I wonder if they're still around.
Yeah.
Probably
remnants of the Red Hand.
Uh huh. Remnants of the
It's
Red
just
Hand.
red
Remnants.
fingers.
Yes.
Just a couple digits.
They're the red palms. The other mute.
Who is the power vacuum that you just referred to?
Well, the Chancellor's been killed.
Chancellor
And all of her
Belinda,
people, I
right?
think. Yeah, Chancellor
His name
Belinda.
is
But she,
Hoover.
there's like nobody in government. There's not much of a militia left. They have.
Yeah.
They've.
There might be
They
a
could have. They might not even be coming back. So
Okay.
it's really like people could just come into this town. Technically, if we could just take over if we wanted to. If we wanted to, we could probably do it.
Do not want.
Right. That's not really our thing. He's got to rebuild a church here. There's nobody left of his
I'm not a
people.
politician.
Right, but that's what I mean. But no, we're not in the. We could take charge. We're not. That's not our character type. I'm not a politician either. I'm just like some smithy dude trying to find
Yep.
where he's from, kind of thing.
All right.
And see, I may end up having to run the infirmary for a little while because Gerda, who's the leader of the order, she's going to need to go to different orders around.
Well, she's dead.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, she was zombified in the last episode.
Gerda?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Damn it.
Poor
She went
Gerda.
outside to fight, and that was the body that you found as a turned to zombie and killed again
All right.
outside.
Well, that sucks. But I need to, I guess I need to do more work than that then, because I
Yeah.
need to find more people to fill in the infirmary, and then we can help
Yeah.
keep people healthy and
Keeping the hospital reference, there's a handful of nurses that survived
Right.
in the secret room. They've been out and about helping people that were suffering.
right. But
Not necessarily helping them to suffer
But it
more,
would-
but also healing them.
the way that our order works is it's matriarchal. So the person who is the mother of the order, needs to be the one that goes and recruits people from other chapters
All right.
to help us fill up the spaces from when people got killed.
Would Laramie have people, like, are they usually stationed in cities? They could be out in the wilderness? How does that work for those guys?
I mean, there's so few of them that they sort of have areas that they are in charge of.
So technically, since we're on an island, the guys that we're hearing, they might have been the only guys on this island.
They're probably the only ones there. And there were like 4 here, which is a lot for an area. So
Yeah. I was thinking of it, especially going along with the whole the accent and the shooting and all that. They're like rangers. Like, you know, our world,
Sure.
like Texas Rangers,
Rangers.
yeah,
kind of thing,
totally. Yeah.
where there aren't a lot of them. They're
awesome.
you know they're only associated that they all have the word ranger. They're all of Josiah, right? And they're all in their different areas. And the ones who were assigned to the area in and around Kingsbury, according to Virginia Slim, who you were able to talk to,
Bishop.
That's right.
yeah,
Virginia Slim.
according to
Oh, yeah.
Virginia Slim,
Yeah.
they all passed, and he knew. Because he was dead at the time,
Yeah.
he had a sense that unfortunately they had all passed.
Yeah, we talked to the dead guy.
So the local rangers, there's nobody really to patrol this area anymore.
Right. So eventually he'd want to try to get a message out to maybe the nearest town that he knows would have a temple. But I don't know if he has the ability to do that right now.
That would be as far as
So-
Saint Angelique.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if we're sending someone out that way, we'd send them with a note because
Okay.
that's sort of the best I can do right now. I can't really leave.
Okay, that would work.
Is this
at least as far
your
as making
hometown?
it.
No, my hometown's Leesburg,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. This is the capital, so I've been here a couple times.
Trillian's out of the loop.
It's
I'm
all
way
right.
out of the loop.
But
all right. It's all right.
she did it on purpose, though. It's okay.
Yeah.
She definitely looped herself out.
Well, Leesburg's not too far from here, actually.
No, I mean he could probably see it if he looks across the water.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah. See, Mike's familiar with it because he made the map.
I did. I created that map.
Word.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Go ahead, Kurt.
I was just gonna say, could you you don't have time or the ability to train and deputize new clerics of Josiah?
I think it's a little bit more complicated
Paladins.
than people just wanting to do it. So I would just probably have to contact someone a little bit. Like I'm not super high in the order or anything. I'm just a guy doing a
You
job.
just happen to be who's
Or
left.
they might, or is it
Yeah.
something where they have people who are already in training, they just haven't been placed anywhere, you know? They
I mean,
haven't
it's
really-
very possible. Yeah.
Yeah, but the undead just came through and killed all the Padawans.
Right.
so-
That's, yeah.
I mean, if there would be training anywhere, it would probably be at the
That is right.
biggest
Yeah.
cathedral they have.
Yeah. Home base. Right. Oh man,
So-
that sucks.
Right. I mean,
And,
I think
and I know
we-
Mike had said it last time. I can't remember if you just said it here or not, or I didn't hear it. But the idea that the Order of Josiah is pretty much 2 levels. There's the church part,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
was
yeah.
all the people that were here and died, unfortunately.
And then the military,
Then the
yeah.
military, or the knights, or the paladins of Josiah,
Yeah.
which is what Laramie is part of.
Yeah.
Now they had 4 assigned to this general area, and those have passed. So he's not necessarily. I would presume Laramie is not qualified to train a cleric, a father, a priest, or whatever. But he might be qualified to bring somebody under his wing to be a fighter.
I mean, sure, I could teach them stuff.
If there were
but-
someone around. So that might be something you could do in the
Yeah.
future, maybe not today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so.
But it's definitely a different level of the church.
I mean, it seems like there would be an option for all of us to have things if we wanted to stay here for 6 months or a year that we could
Yep.
do to build things up. But it also sounds like there are people that we could bring in to do that. So if Mike can get someone to come, or Laramie can get someone to come in, build up his order. I can work with Melissa to have her. She needs to do better jobs to kind of securing the frontier around Kingsbury so that enemies like this can't get this close again.
Yeah, because they were amassing near that waterfall, and nobody had any idea what was going on.
Right. Nobody was paying any attention to it. Although they were technically they were underwater.
Right.
Which, as kind of bringing it all together, that whole mess that they created near the waterfall was what had nature bring the druid over to kind of clean up. When you have thousands of undead underwater for a while, it kind of contaminates the area.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
I do think Bretton would like to use some of the wealth that he's accumulated through his adventuring year to perhaps make an investment in one of the local taverns.
Okay.
can pay him while he's gone. Bretton he's a social man. He likes to have a place to come when he's in town. So the gurgling goldfish in particular has caught his eye.
Gurgling goldfish. Let me
He'd like to
make
make
a
an
note of
offer
that.
for maybe a 10 or 20% stake in the tavern.
Well, the thing is, when you walk into the gurgling goldfish, the only thing that remains of what you remember of it is actually the large aquarium in the middle that has several goldfish swimming in it. They are not dead. They're just in there swimming.
And gurgling.
And most of the place is either burned or destroyed. The building itself is relatively sound, but there's nobody to make an offer to.
There's some resilient fish.
Well, in that case, I might own 100% of the gurgling
I was gonna
goldfish
say,
and hire myself a
how's the
general
Smithy
manager.
going?
I was going to say hire a general manager before I leave.
Okay. Now that I've said it, I've got to type this.
It'd be good to have a base, have an investment stream of income, and also to have a base to return.
I know I might have another affiliate of Smithy's if depending on how it goes here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the gurgling goldfish, what is it you want to do with the place? I mean, what are you going to try and set up? What if you're doing a little Kickstarter here? What is it? What's your goal?
Well, it would be the finest drinking and social establishment in all of Kingsbury.
Okay.
It would be the place that men and women alike,
I have a
boys
question.
and girls, want to come and
If you
spend
can
time.
get it, if you
Not
can
a
get it
whole
to
lot of
serve drinks and have
competition, yeah.
people talk, it would immediately become the finest because it would
I
be the
know what
only.
would get people talking
Well,
is if those goldfish were undead.
the undead gurgling goldfish.
Let's make those goldfish undead. Just
Oh,
keep them in the tank.
That could go so horribly
That
wrong.
sounds so
Well,
wrong.
how about
Taking your
It'll get
chances.
people talking. People are
would,
gonna be like,
it
"Let's go
would.
to the
That's
gurgling
unnatural.
goldfish."
I don't know if you'd be down with it.
I don't think
Matilda,
goldfish
the
live very
gurgling
long. How about we
goldfish.
let them live out their natural life? When
And then
they
raise
die,
dead.
Exactly. We can
Ooh.
bring them back.
What kind of
It
town
could be
is
like the
this?
grand reopening.
Yeah.
It's a strange place.
I'm gonna hashtag that. Do not like.
It sounds like something that would happen across the sea in Shumockton, not in Kingsbury.
All right.
There's a lot of weird things that
That
go on
is
in
a
Shumockton.
Yeah.
Kingsbury's
town.
not ready for undead goldfish.
Schmucken's
All
crazy.
right.
I talked Trill down off the undead goldfish. And for now, I think we'll just stick with Lisa.
Troll's got a dark side, okay?
For now, we're
Troll's got
just-
a dark side.
The goldfish, at least.
As long
just
as
think-
Lisa and Bart are still alive, let's just let them keep swimming.
Right now, anything relating to undead is
Yeah.
going to equal bad.
Yeah.
People aren't going to want to go
Bad,
anywhere
yeah.
near
That's
anything that's
true.
even reminiscent of anything undead.
Can't have too many
Alright.
Oogie Boogie action going on here.
No.
All right.
People are still saying that in the next
Oh, yeah.
through the next days.
The kids are like doing the
Yeah.
jump rope. Oogie,
Yeah.
oogie boogie.
Yep,
Oogie,
exactly.
oogie,
Yeah.
boogie, boogie, boogie.
It's a
That's
double
all.
Dutch boogie.
That's awesome.
What would all right, so Uriel mentioned the smithy or any blacksmith. Now, presuming there are several in Kingsbury, you might not have any affiliation with any of them. Is there anything specific you'd be looking for?
Well, if there's one that's, oh, hey, that guy died, I could kind of take it over or apprentice somebody in there where they could run it, but it's really my forge, and I'm going to get some of the.
Well, because of the way we're playing this,
Money.
yes, there will be one that isn't completely destroyed, that everyone who is working there is dead. What would the name of that place be?
It was called the King's Medal, but metal isn't like your fortitude, and that kind of metal.
METTLE?
But if I'm going to own it, it's going to be part of my Phoenix Fire Forge brand. Yeah.
Okay.
So Phoenix metal.
Phoenix Fire Forge.
Now, do you spell it Phoenix?
Yes, like
Okay.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Fire Forge?
Hooked on Phoenix. Work with him.
I just want to make sure you're not,
Phoenix is
right, because metal isn't spelled MET.
right. Yeah. Originally, the one because it was
Yeah.
Kingsbury, it was called the King's Medal, but
I don't know if you're going to spell it like FEE.
but it could still be the King's Medal, but a Phoenix Fire Forge.
Ah, okay.
They could all be
Like,
PHs.
what's that about? Yeah.
Yes, it's all Phoenix, PHIRE,
Yes.
PHONIX.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Phoenix
totally.
normally, and then fire and,
And then
forge.
yeah,
would be-
everything's PH, and everything's
That's
everything's
awesome.
All right, I'm changing that now.
Maybe we should do a synergistic marketing and rebrand the gurgling goldfish as something like the Phoenix Den or something.
Well, that's my thing. Bretton has whatever he has. Strawberry and coconut. I don't know.
But
Strawberry and coconut production.
How about the strawberry coconut?
I mean, the gurgling goldfish was so good.
It is a good
It
name.
That was
is.
pretty good, man.
I do need to put my spin on it though. Maybe just maybe
However-
a pole in the back corner. I'm not sure.
It could be. But maybe if you just go with the whole spelling was PH, 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 you could just gurgling and goldfish could be GHURG, like gurgling
Maybe
and
the gurgling goldfish could be like the
Ghoulfish.
tavern
Gurgling
part,
ghoulfish.
and then
Because
you
they're
have,
undead.
like,
Yes.
an
Well,
inn
ghouls aren't
with
unnecessarily
a different
undead, are
name
they?
Yes.
attached to it.
I don't remember. They're kind
We'll
of freaky.
think
They
about
hang
it. We'll
around
think about it.
graveyards eating dead bodies. Though. I don't know. If
But I don't want to overcommit to my time in Kingsbury. See, that's the thing. I want a fairly quick.
Oh yeah, this is me
He
to
wants
like.
to become a hotelier.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is me to set it up and then I can take off. But that guy works for me. Yeah, he's an affiliate of mine.
Because I feel like the fact that Belinda, Chancellor Belinda, and all of her government is. I mean, there should be some money here for the. I don't want to call it looting, but there should be some money to recompense.
Yes.
Or as recompense for what we've done.
You
I don't
could
know,
make
well,
some
the-
capital gains here.
I don't
And I
know
would
because
like
the
to-
treasury was ransacked, but I don't know if they took money. They just took like valuable items.
Well, let's find out. Who wants to go check it out?
I think we should.
Who
do
wants
that.
to go check out the actual the keep in the upper class
let's-
area?
Yeah, because I think we might find some clues to like whether something that's her symbol or mine. Or
And
who
I don't know
knows.
if we
It
have
sounds
that
important.
I want
that
some more
pad
seed
out.
capital
Bridget, do you
for
have
my
that pad that
tavern
had the
empire.
Kingsbury map?
This was Harak.
That's
We didn't
right.
have a
All
Kingsbury
right,
map.
Kingsbury is very similar in structure to Harak, so we
Okay.
can use that. But for Kingsbury, if we look at the same map, Kingsbury has an entrance on the south of the circle and on the east and west of the circle with no entrance on the back. The only real difference with Kingsbury is Harak had call it the general population area all the way around the donut, all the way around the circle. Whereas Kingsbury, they didn't have it towards the back. The keep is towards the back wall.
Okay.
So it's like a
Right,
donut where the hole's against the back wall
yeah,
of the donut.
right, yeah.
Okay.
So it's more like an eclair.
No.
A
Sorry.
bear claw. It's a bear claw.
There you go. It's
This-
a bear claw.
Every city is going to have some sort of pastry reference.
There you go.
If you can't buy it at Dunkin' Donuts, it doesn't exist in our world.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we get the croissant bit.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, maybe that's it.
I had
Maybe
one of those
it's like a
sandwiches today, by
croissant.
the way.
Yes, flaky buttery croissant bill.
Man, that sounds
That's my
amazing.
favorite
Cannoli
place
town.
to go.
Smells
Yeah.
amazing there.
Cannoli town. You have to get in through a tunnel.
Yeah.
It's right next to Lattesburg. Delicious area.
Rivers of coffee.
Yeah, I want to check out the treasury for some seed capital for my tavern empire that Bretton is now has in the back of his mind as being a good use of.
Okay, so who is going to go? I mean, it's easy enough for me to say everyone's going, but is there anybody
Yeah.
who would not go check out? Excuse me, where the upper class and the royalty lived?
I mean, I think Laramie definitely wants to go because that's where the chancellor was, and
Yeah.
that's to make sure that she's deceased and there isn't like
See if we can find
some of the
somebody,
government left that could take over.
a councilman or somebody.
Yeah, and Trillium is not going to come because she's stuck in the back making googie eyes at the goldfish.
The ghoulfish.
Ooh, fish.
I think that's pretty damn funny. All right, so you guys head up there, and as you're approaching the town, and again, the entire way, everywhere you travel, you've got a zombie here, a skeleton there, plenty of different things that you're defeating along the way. So it's a constant battle, but it's a battle that's easily won by this unified front. You've got the help of some of the people that are left over, and the strength that you have carrying forward from the victories over and over and over. But on the way there, you see that the stone wall that surrounds the upper class area has been breached in several areas, in several places. So the wall is crumbled in a couple of places. Easy enough to just walk in. You don't have to get past any guards or anything because there aren't any. And some of the walls are broken down. The gates are actually up and still locked, closed. But you can just walk around the gate to the breach in the wall right next to it. And when you get inside there, you do find some houses that are completely boarded up or barred up with iron bars. But where you can see the keep itself now, it is almost completely razed to the ground, which I think is a funny
Yikes.
thing to say. Razed to the ground. You just have to spell it without the I and add a Z, and it works.
Well, there goes my wishful thinking.
Yeah, I was raising dead last episode. Yeah.
To the ground. It definitely, it has been destroyed. The stones, I mean, it's like somebody decided that they were going to take the stones, break them, smash them on the ground, and stomp them into tiny bits,
And then light them on fire.
and then light them on fire.
So there's literally like not even enough to
It's rubble.
rebuild.
Yeah. Now you could use what's there to rebuild, but
Right.
it isn't a building anymore. It isn't what would have or what was a grand capital, a grand practically castle, because it's been royalty forever. It is just short of a castle, but really, really close to it.
Is
And
it to
it's
the
just
point where if we
destroyed.
try to get to any of the underground areas, it would be too dangerous to go for it?
Nah, nothing's too dangerous for you guys.
Okay.
You're taking out an undead horde to
Well, I mean,
walk
like,
through
hey, we're taking a
city.
walk, and there goes the
Oh,
rest
that
of the
could still
castle on top
happen.
of us.
That could still happen. Don't get me wrong.
That's called a less than or 6 or less.
Yeah.
That could definitely happen.
Give me a chip
I need some
and
more
some
chips.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to look for that, that's easy enough. It's easy enough to find a spot that can lead to underground tunnels.
Yeah.
Everyone knows there's underground tunnels in Kingsbury. It's no surprise.
Right.
When you get down into the underground tunnels underneath the keep itself, you do find a lot of dead Chancellor's guards, the elite guard. There are a lot of them under there. If this city had a few hundred, you're pretty sure there's more than that dead all around, like they were there to protect the Chancellor and the Council and what have you. You do find dead members of the Council, and at one point down a tunnel around a bend, you find a completely ashed corpse that has the medal that Belinda wore, signifying that she was Chancellor of Kingsbury. And it's partly melted.
Yikes.
Not melted as fancy in the way, as the Josiah stuff is melted.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to the imagination here. If someone asked you what this is, you'd say it's the melted medal of the Chancellor of Kingsbury. And you could say, interesting, and say nothing more, but
Yeah. I mean,
make
Where's your
It
proof?
seems
This-
unfortunate.
yes.
this whole time he's just like doing last rites to everyone that they come across. So he gets to hear, and it's like sort of the final
Yeah.
nail in the sadness coffin here.
It's definitely, I mean, I kind of pushed through it, but it's definitely a somber march. You don't pass people who are still breathing, just maybe surviving. You're a week and a half past the time where these people had been killed.
Long dead.
Yeah, they are long dead.
Irrevocably dead.
It is not pleasant, and there's just a lot of bad stuff. So it beyond question at this point, the people who did rule Kingsbury as part of either elected or appointed members of the ruling, they are all deceased.
Okay.
No question, because apparently the people who came to do this sought them out and killed them. So it wasn't just random acts of violence. This was destroy Kingsbury and everything that it represents.
They were targeted for termination.
Exactly.
Is there a way that we could? I'm not sure. There's not like this way is the treasury.
Well, the treasury was
Upper levels.
part of the keep,
Okay.
and as far as you can tell, when you get to the area where the treasury would have been, the iron doors are half melted, and it is. Picture the scene where anytime you see some kind of treasure room looted, there's like a coin in the corner
Right,
here,
yeah.
a dented goblet over there. It's like somebody did come in and loot everything, and it's just little bits of things left over, nothing of actual value.
Can we tell where it was taken in any way?
Do you have a ranger? Somebody that might be able to hunt and track?
Maybe?
He's around.
We do have a ranger.
See if there's actually a path we could follow to find out where the treasure went.
It would be kind of difficult to do so, which is
later.
why we would say a ranger would be required, rather than somebody who could just follow like footprints and gold coins dropped by somebody with a hole in their
Because we
bag.
didn't see any of that on our way
No.
this way to the room. So that means there's another
sounds
way
like
out.
Bretton could use hunt and track.
Does Bretton want to do that?
I mean,
Are we interested in finding out where all the money was taken from Kingsbury?
Because maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, because
who took
how's
it.
this town going to rebuild itself when it has no resources except
Right.
for its people? And that's going to be rough.
I mean,
I'm always up, and you're always up for some vengeance.
I do like that vengeance. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not so concerned about the money and who takes over next, but like I guess if the bad guys, if we can track them, that would probably be good. Maybe that necromancer's out there somewhere.
Yeah. If you want to fix the pews and the doors of the cathedral, you might need to pay somebody to do that too.
Yeah.
I think Bretton.
So the ranger has a move, hunt, and track. When I follow a trail of clues left behind by passing creatures, I roll plus wisdom. On a 7+, I follow the creature's trail until there is a significant change in its direction or mode of travel. And on a 10+, I can also choose one of 2 cool things, including what caused the trail to end, or I can gain a useful bit of information about my quarry.
Okay.
So I shall roll and hopefully roll better than I have been.
Let's give it a shot. See what happens.
I have 3 chips.
What's your wisdom modifier?
My wisdom modifier is currently a +3.
Okay.
Next.
And I rolled 10, so I have 13.
yes.
Oh, good gosh. Yeah. You're easily able to follow the trail away from the keep, and you know you could follow it farther if you guys are ready to go on an adventure. You're sure it leads out of town.
Yes, and perhaps either now or when we get back together, you can tell me a useful bit of information about the quarry.
And that's what I want. That, actually, to me, that was going to be part of it, that you know it leads out of town. But there's more to it, but I want to see what people want to do.
Yeah, I'm interested in staying in town right now because we need to have people who can run the infirmary, and we're very short on that right now.
Okay.
And if we
I
decide
need to help build that.
if we decide to follow the trail, I'll have to send Cloud back to get Trillium because she stayed behind to make goo-goo eyes at the fish for a while.
Yeah, the ghoul fish.
While you weren't here. That's why you weren't with us.
Yeah.
You got captivated. Being a
what's
druid, you
happening?
got
We
captivated.
went up to the keep to check out the keep, and it's been pretty much destroyed.
Yeah.
Like almost all gone.
Okay.
And looted.
Yeah, like there's
But
almost nobody left.
We
So-
may
so-
or may not have found a plot hook.
Yeah, so this town almost has nothing to like if they have to rebuild the town, they can't pay anybody to do any of these things, you know. The town would just have to do it on their own.
So are you guys interested in trying to establish leadership in the town? Because I'm looking at recruit again. Do you guys want to recruit people to try and keep order in the town, or are you?
Yeah, because I don't want to stay here. I'd rather not stay.
Right.
I mean, but I'd like to find the right people. Like, are there
That's the idea of
children
the
or
recruit
of
move
the
again.
children of the council people, or like a son that would have been, inherited a council seat? Like, are those people still alive?
Yeah, so are there any politicians
People
that
who
ran out
should
of
be
town
in
that can come
power?
back, or
Yeah.
and there's definitely some militia guys, but they could be
From
low
the
level.
time the King Glorin was deposed in Kingsbury, it's been an election. Now, Belinda was appointed by the people by just popular vote isn't the right word, by popularity, but all of the council were elected, and it's an election process now. So it's not necessarily something like a council person's child would get their seat afterwards. It should be somebody who's duly elected after. However, there are people around town, and if we're looking to try and get some people interested in helping rebuild Kingsbury, that's where I'm thinking. Let's do.
Yeah,
we can take the
that
last
sounds
few
good.
minutes of this episode and maybe figure out how we would recruit those people, where we might find them. Where in the city would you look for somebody who you would want to run the city?
We should check out all the guilds, whatever type of guilds are left.
Okay.
Like represented, like even just like the top right, like the guild master could be.
You can figure
representatives.
all kinds of artisans guilds, woodworking, metalworking.
Even if they decide to form a new council, like the
farming,
guild
what have you.
masters
Yeah.
kind of have a say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that would be easy. Or if there's like a library with some scribes or sages, I don't know. Those
Sure,
guys are
yeah.
usually pretty
Schools.
smart.
There'll be a little bit of all of that.
Yeah,
So those are the kind of people you want to look for.
and then spread the word too.
Okay.
And any leftover militia guys for the military aspect of it.
What is it you want to tell them? What's the message you're trying to get through to the people?
We've taken care of the threat for now. We need leadership to help everyone recover and rebuild.
Here's a question for them as well. Because do we care about going back and getting that money? It's not really. Some of it might be on you to like. Well, you want payback for. Because essentially, those people that brought the undead, they killed your guys. They killed some of your people and your people off.
Yeah.
You might want payback just for that. I want whoever that was, those 3 or 4 people, regardless. But this time, I'm like, yeah, you guys need to go get that money. You need to help us out. So do we want to ask them, like, hey, do you guys really want us to go after these people? Because we're not necessarily going after the money. We're going after just to for some vengeance on who did this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think ultimately we want to find out how it happened find out who did it and maybe make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. I think that's definitely more of a concern to Laramie than finding the right people.
And was there anything? Was there any
here.
powerful artifacts in that treasury we need to worry about?
The capital
True.
of the world,
Right, and
should
like
have
it's
something.
in whose
there.
hands now? Yeah, that could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
But I think if we just communicate to them that we're not staying, or
Yeah.
at least most of us aren't staying.
Or not for long. Like I mean, I assume we could be here for a couple weeks to really help out.
Right.
I don't want to be here for months
Correct.
at a time.
Correct.
you
So
know?
it's on them ultimately
right.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
create a
And
system
I
of
would
government.
say the scribes and whatnot, you were saying that type of person in a library would know or have some sort of record
Yeah,
of
inventory.
what things we would need to worry about, and if there's something that
Yeah.
requires us to go get it urgently,
Okay.
or someone to go get it urgently.
So what I want to do here is somebody is going to make that recruit roll, and let's look at that move again and see how many of those +1s we get. And to me, the reason I like the way this is going to turn out is this is going to determine, I'll call it the scrupulosity. if the people that you're convincing to come into power will be good people or
Right.
not so good people.
The scruple.
Yes.
Scrupulousness.
Scruples.
Or the-
We're going to determine their scruples.
I think Lenore should make the role because she's gonna stay.
Yeah,
eventually
she might be the one
who
staying
stays.
behind.
I'd
Right.
probably stay behind.
And how many of those +1s are we going to use and why?
I mean, I feel like the pay is generous could be taken because they would be a leader of the whole city.
You're convincing them that they would be in
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah.
Or at least part of the ruling class,
Yeah.
so they have something to gain.
And then what you're setting out to do is to set up a brand new city, so that would be enticing to people. I guess they get a share because
Definitely.
they're one of
Bring-
the council people.
Or we'll bring back whatever we find too. There's that. You know.
Yeah.
And we
Sure.
do seem to have a good reputation.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just cleared out the
So
city.
we
Let's
get
do that.
the whole 4.
Give you 2d6 plus 4. The thing is, you can still roll 2 1s. Oh, you came so close. So what'd
That's
you
a
roll?
3.
So you rolled a 3. Plus 4 is 7. Now go ahead and read the 7 to
have it.
9 on
I
there.
have an 8.
On a 7 to 9.
That's still. Yeah, hold on.
Well, I like the idea that we're actually going to establish
That now there's
a middle of the road.
Again.
So go ahead
Yeah,
and read the
yeah,
7
yeah.
to 9 on
success
that,
with
Bridget.
complications.
On recruit.
7 to 9 says you have to settle for someone close or turn them away.
All right. So in this case, you're settling on someone close to what you wanted.
So
You
we
wanted
didn't
good
find,
people to run
yeah.
the city, but you're going to settle on somebody who's good enough.
I mean, a lot of the good
Or
people
good
are
and
dead,
corruptible.
So
Yeah.
it's sort of like the good person's assistant,
Yeah.
Or the not quite as brave a person as you would have liked.
yeah, because they
Because the
left.
brave people all
But
ran out
not
and
quite
got
as
killed.
brave Sir Bedivere.
So where we're going to finish this episode, Kurt, is that little bit of information of your quarry, what you've been tracking. You realize that although the city was ransacked nearly 2 weeks ago, the treasury itself was only broken into and the contents removed just a couple of days ago. So it's probably not the same people who ransacked the city. Somebody different. And we'll figure out where that goes on our next episode. For this one, we can all say,
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.